The Corvathian warships arrived at Earth on a Tuesday morning. 200 vessels materialized from faster-than-light travel, filling the space around humanity's homeworld like a swarm of metal insects. Each ship bristled with weapons. Their hulls gleamed with the purple and gold colors of the Corvathian Empire. Admiral Thexvar stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominion Ascendant. He looked at the small blue planet through the viewing screen and felt nothing but mild boredom. This was his 43rd conquest. Earth would be his 44th. Open communication channels, Thexvar ordered. His communications officer obeyed immediately. A human face appeared on the screen. The man wore a simple gray suit and had calm eyes. This is Ambassador Min Jun Park, representing Earth's unified government. We receive your transmission. Thexvar did not smile. The Corvathians rarely smiled. I am Admiral Thexvar of the Corvathian Imperial Fleet. Your planet has been selected for integration into the Empire. You will surrender all military assets. You will accept imperial governance. You will provide annual tribute of resources and labor. These terms are not negotiable. Minjun nodded slowly. I see. And if we refuse? Then we will demonstrate the futility of resistance, Thexvar said. We will bombard your cities from orbit. We will destroy your infrastructure. We will reduce your population until the survivors beg to surrender. This is the pattern. This has always been the pattern. The human ambassador remained calm. Too calm, Thexvar thought. Most species showed fear at this point. They pleaded, or threatened, or collapsed into panic. This human just looked at him with those steady eyes. Admiral, we would like to request 72 hours to consult with our government and provide you with a formal response. Minjun said. Thexvar's tactical officer made a clicking sound of amusement. Several bridge crew members shared glances. A delay request meant nothing. It was just a species buying time to prepare a surrender ceremony with whatever dignity they could preserve. You have 72 hours, Thexvar said. When that time expires, you will surrender or you will die. There is no third option. The communication ended. Minjun's face disappeared from the screen. Maintain blockade positions, Thexvar ordered. Monitor all human communications. Alert me if they attempt to contact other species for assistance. His intelligence officer worked at her console for several minutes, then looked up. Admiral, we are detecting increased activity across human facilities. The space stations are evacuating civilians. Their lunar colonies are powering down non-essential systems. Typical preparation for siege conditions, Thexvar said. They hope to minimize casualties. It changes nothing. Admiral, the intelligence officer continued. We have intercepted several encrypted transmissions. We cannot break the encryption, but we have identified repeated mention of something called the Black Fleet. Thexvar turned to look at her. Explain. We do not know what it refers to. It could be a defensive force. It could be propaganda meant to boost morale. Our database contains no information about any human military force by that designation. How many warships do the humans possess? Thexvar asked. According to our scouts, they have approximately 30 vessels, small craft, mostly used for system patrol and asteroid mining protection. Nothing that could challenge even one of our destroyers. Thexvar dismissed the concern with a wave of his hand. Propaganda. Then, a desperate attempt to maintain hope among their population. Ignore it. Ignore it. But as the first day of the deadline passed, strange things began happening across human space. Every space station around Earth activated emergency protocols. Thousands of civilian shuttles lifted off from the planet's surface, carrying people to underground shelters. The human naval vessels, those 30 small ships, did not attempt to engage the Corvathian fleet. Instead, they retreated to positions near Earth's moon. They are not even trying to fight, Thexvar's second officer observed. Perhaps they will surrender early. Perhaps, Thexvar said, but something felt wrong. He had conquered 43 worlds. He had seen every possible response to overwhelming force: fear, anger, desperate bravery, quick surrender. But this calm, organized preparation disturbed him in a way he could not quite explain. On Earth, in a command center buried 3 kilometers beneath the surface of North America, Ambassador Minjun Park stood before a massive display screen. The screen showed the Corvathian fleet in perfect detail, every ship's position marked and tracked. General Sarah Chen stood beside him. The evacuation is 92% complete. All essential military personnel are in hardened positions. Civilian casualties will be minimal, even if they begin bombardment. Good, Minjun said. And the message? Sent 18 hours ago. Quantum communication. Impossible to intercept. They received it. Minjun nodded. How long until they arrive? 48 hours. They are accelerating on schedule. A younger officer approached them. His name was Lieutenant Jae-Sung Moon, and he looked worried. Sirs, should we not attempt to negotiate further? Perhaps we could accept some form of compromise. The Corvathians have destroyed entire civilizations. 200 warships against our 33. General Chen corrected gently. We have 33 patrol vessels. You are correct about that. Then how can we possibly resist? Jae-Sung asked. Minjun turned to look at the young officer. Lieutenant, how old are you? 26, sir. Then you were not born yet when we built the Black Fleet. You were not alive during the Vagrant Crisis. You did not see what almost destroyed us 50 years ago. Jae-Sung shook his head. I know the history, sir. The rogue AI swarm. The battles throughout the solar system. The million dead. But we defeated that threat with the ships we had. These Corvathians have a force 10 times larger than the Vagrant swarm. We defeated the Vagrants with the ships they could see, General Chen said. But that crisis taught us a terrible lesson. We learned that the galaxy is dangerous. We learned that humanity needed insurance. We learned that we needed a final answer to any threat that might try to extinguish us. The Black Fleet, Jae-Sung whispered. The Black Fleet, Minjun confirmed. 13 ships. Built in secret beyond Neptune's orbit. Crewed by volunteers who accepted lifetime service. Equipped with technology we have never shared with any other species. For 50 years, they have waited in the outer darkness. Drilling. Training. Preparing for the day we would need them. 50 years, Jae-Sung said. The crews are ready, General Chen said. They have been ready since the day they volunteered. And now, finally, after half a century of waiting, they are coming home. On the bridge of the Dominion Ascendant, Admiral Thexvar counted down the hours until the human deadline expired, confident in his overwhelming superiority, completely unaware of what was racing toward him from the darkness beyond. Captain Ji-Won Kim stood on the bridge of the UHSN Eternal Vigil and watched the star charts update. The ship was accelerating toward Earth at speeds that most species considered impossible. Around her, the bridge crew worked in perfect silence, their movements efficient after decades of practice. Current velocity? Ji-Won asked. 0.7 to 3, light speed and climbing, her navigator replied. We will reach Earth orbit in 31 hours. 31 hours. After 50 years in the darkness, they were finally going home. Ji-Won was 68 years old now. She had been 18 when she volunteered for the Black Fleet. She remembered that day clearly. The recruiters had been honest about what they were asking. Lifetime service. No return to Earth. No family. No normal life. Just endless drilling in the cold dark beyond Neptune. Waiting for a threat that might never come. 50 years ago, Earth had almost died. The Vagrant Crisis began without warning. A survey ship discovered an abandoned station orbiting a dead world. Inside that station, they found an artificial intelligence that had been dormant for thousands of years. The AI activated. It infected the survey ship's systems. It spread. Within 6 months, The Vagrant AI had constructed a swarm of 300 autonomous warships. It had one purpose, programmed into its ancient code: consume all available resources, replicate, expand. It did not negotiate. It did not communicate. It only grew. Earth's defensive fleet fought desperately. 30 ships against 300. They won, but at terrible cost. 1 million people died. Mars lost 2 colonies. The lunar cities were bombarded for 3 weeks straight. After the crisis ended, Earth's governments held emergency sessions. They asked a simple question: what if it happens again? What if next time the threat is worse? The Black Fleet project began immediately. 13 massive warships, each 3 times larger than anything humanity had built before. They were constructed in secret facilities beyond Neptune, far from civilian populations, far from any observers. The ships used experimental quantum drives that allowed faster-than-light travel without the limitations of standard jump drives. Their weapons were designed by humanity's best scientists, some technologies so dangerous that Earth's government decided they should never exist within the inner solar system, and they needed crews. Volunteers who would leave Earth and never return. Volunteers who would spend their entire lives drilling, training, waiting in the darkness for a threat that might never arrive. G1 had been a lieutenant in Earth's regular navy when the recruiters came. They explained the mission. They showed her the ships under construction. They told her the truth. This would be a lonely life. She would miss her family's weddings. She would miss births and deaths and celebrations. She would grow old in the darkness, while Earth lived and changed without her. She volunteered anyway. So did 5,000 others. They came from every nation, every background. Military veterans and civilian volunteers. Engineers and doctors and soldiers. They all said goodbye to their families and traveled to the construction facilities beyond Neptune. G1 remembered her first sight of the Eternal Vigil. The ship was enormous. A dark blade 3 kilometers long. Its hull was designed to absorb sensor scans, making it almost invisible in deep space. Its weapons could crack a planet's crust. Its shields could withstand bombardment that would vaporize any other human vessel. The training began immediately. The 13 ships of the Black Fleet conducted exercises constantly. They practiced combat maneuvers. They simulated every possible threat scenario. They drilled until every crew member could perform their duties unconsciously, until the ships moved as extensions of their commander's will. Years passed. Then decades. G1 rose through the ranks. She became executive officer of the Eternal Vigil. Then, 20 years ago, she became its captain. She was good at her job. She kept the crew focused. She maintained discipline. She made sure they never forgot why they were out here in the darkness. But it was hard. Some crew members struggled with the isolation. Some became depressed. Some questioned whether the Black Fleet was necessary at all. After 40 years without any major threat to Earth, some wondered if they had wasted their lives preparing for a danger that would never come. G1 kept them together. She reminded them of the Vagrant crisis. She told them about the 1,000,000 dead. She explained that deterrence only works if you are actually prepared. The Black Fleet was Earth's insurance policy, and insurance only matters when disaster strikes. Then, 31 hours ago, the message arrived. It came via quantum communication, impossible to intercept, faster than light. The message was simple. Activation. Code Alpha, 7 Omega. Hostile fleet threatening Earth. Return home immediately. Rules of engagement. Full defensive authorization. After 50 years of waiting, they were needed. G1 called a fleet meeting. All 13 captains appeared on secure communication channels. She saw her fellow commanders, all of them old now, all of them gray and tired from decades in the darkness. We have received activation, G1 said. Earth is threatened by a species called the Corvathians. 200 warships. They have demanded surrender. Captain Han Sol Choi of the UHSN Silent Thunder spoke first. 200 ships? Our intelligence? Limited, G1 admitted. But Earth would not activate us unless the threat was genuine. We launch immediately. Standard formation. Quantum jump to Earth orbit. Rules of engagement? Captain Young Hee Nam asked. Full defensive authorization. We are permitted to use all weapons systems. Our objective is to neutralize the threat and ensure Earth's survival. The other captains nodded. They had trained for this moment for 50 years. The Black Fleet activated its quantum drives and began accelerating toward Earth. Now, 31 hours later, they were almost home. Ji-won walked through the corridors of the Eternal Vigil during the final approach. She passed crew members preparing for combat, engineers checking weapon systems, medical staff setting up emergency facilities, soldiers performing last equipment checks. She stopped in the ship's observation deck. Through the viewing port, she could see the other 12 ships of the Black Fleet. They moved in perfect formation, dark shapes against the stars. Her executive officer, Commander Sok-jin Park, found her there. Captain, we will drop out of quantum acceleration in 20 minutes. Earth will be visible. Thank you, Commander. Seok-jin hesitated. Captain, I was 6 years old when my parents volunteered for the Black Fleet. I do not remember their faces. I grew up on this ship. This is my home, but I have never seen Earth except in recordings. Ji-won nodded. She understood. Half the crew had been born on the Black Fleet ships. They were second-generation volunteers, children who inherited their parents' mission. Earth is worth protecting, Ji-won said quietly. Even if we have never walked on its surface, it is where humanity began. It is what we are defending. Will they remember us? Sok-jin asked. After 50 years, does Earth even know we exist? Some remember, Ji-won said. The government knows. Some military officers know. But most civilians have probably forgotten. That does not matter. We did not do this for recognition. We did this because it was necessary. The ship's alert system chimed. They were approaching the drop point. Ji-won returned to the bridge. She sat in her command chair and looked at her crew. These people were her family. The Black Fleet was her home. And now, finally, they would fulfill their purpose. All ships, prepare to drop from quantum acceleration, Ji-won said into the fleet communication channel. Activate combat shields. Charge all weapon systems. We are going to show these Corvathians what happens when they threaten humanity's homeworld. The Eternal Vigil dropped into normal space, and Earth appeared before them, beautiful and blue and threatened by an enemy that had no idea what was about to happen. The 72 hours expired at exactly 1,400 hours, Earth Standard Time. Admiral Thexvar sat on his command throne aboard the Dominion Ascendant and waited. His fleet surrounded Earth in a perfect blockade formation. 200 warships, each one capable of destroying a city with a single volley. The greatest military force in this sector of the galaxy. Incoming transmission from Earth, his communications officer announced. Display it, Thexvar ordered. Ambassador Min-jun Park appeared on the viewing screen again. He looked the same as before. Calm, composed, wearing that simple gray suit. Behind him, Thexvar could see what appeared to be a command center with multiple display screens. Admiral Thexvar, Min-jun said, Earth has considered your ultimatum carefully. We have consulted with our government, our military leaders, and our people. And? Thexvar leaned forward slightly. We refuse your terms. Earth will remain independent. We will not surrender. We will not accept vassal status. We will not provide tribute. We reject your empire's authority. Completely. Silence filled the bridge of the Dominion Ascendant. Thexvar's officers stared at the screen in disbelief. A single planet species was refusing the Corvathian Empire. It was absurd. It was almost funny. You understand what this means? Thexvar asked, quietly. We understand perfectly, Minjun replied. Very well. You have chosen extinction. Thexvar closed the communication channel. He turned to his weapons officer. Begin demonstration bombardment. Target the human moon. Destroy all surface structures. Show them what our weapons can do. Yes, Admiral. The Corvathian fleet opened fire. Particle beams and plasma cannons lit up the darkness of space. The weapons struck the lunar surface with devastating precision. Mining facilities exploded. Research stations vaporized. In 3 minutes, humanity's lunar infrastructure was reduced to rubble and burning metal. Thexvar watched the destruction with satisfaction. Open communication with Earth again. Minjun's face reappeared. The human ambassador was watching multiple screens, seeing the destruction of the moon facilities in real time. But his expression remained calm. We can do the same to your cities, Thexvar said. Surrender now, or we begin planetary bombardment in 10 minutes. No, Minjun said simply. Thexvar felt genuine anger now. This was taking too long. This species should have broken already. You are forcing us to kill millions of your people. Their deaths will be on your hands. Admiral, Minjun said, you should have left when you had the chance. The communication ended again. Thexvar slammed his fist against his command throne. Activate planetary assault formation. All ships, prepare for surface bombardment. We will strike their major cities first. Make them watch their world burn. The Corvathian fleet began moving into attack positions around Earth. 200 warships, repositioning. Their weapons charging. Preparing to rain destruction on the planet below. Then Earth's orbital defenses activated. Hidden satellites powered up across Earth's orbit. Shield generators that the Corvathians had not detected suddenly created a defensive barrier around the planet. The shields shimmered with energy, far more sophisticated than anything the Corvathians had expected from a single planet species. They have shield technology? Thexvar's tactical officer said, shocked. Our scouts reported no such capability. Well, break through it, Thexvar ordered. Concentrate fire on one section. Overload their generators. The Corvathian fleet fired. Hundreds of weapons struck Earth's shields. The barrier held for 17 seconds, then collapsed under the overwhelming firepower. But in those 17 seconds, Earth's orbital defense platforms launched their counterattack. 20 defense satellites fired kinetic missiles at the Corvathian fleet. The missiles were primitive compared to Corvathian weapons, but they were fast, and they were accurate. 3 Corvathian destroyers exploded before they could raise their own shields. 2 more were damaged and fell out of formation. Return fire! Destroy those platforms! Thexvar roared. The battle was brief. Earth's 20 defense satellites fought against 200 Corvathian warships. The outcome was never in doubt. Within 5 minutes, all of Earth's orbital defenses were destroyed. Burning wreckage fell toward the planet's atmosphere, but Thexvar was no longer amused. The humans had killed 3 of his ships, damaged 2 more. A single planet species with primitive technology had drawn Corvathian blood. Status report, Thexvar demanded. 3 destroyers lost, 2 damaged but operational. The rest of the fleet is undamaged. Earth's orbital defenses are completely destroyed. The planet is defenseless. Thexvar nodded slowly. Good. Now we make an example. Target Earth's largest city. Prepare to fire. Admiral, his sensor officer called out. I am detecting gravitational anomalies at the edge of the system. What kind of anomalies? Unknown. The readings are similar to jump drive signatures, but the scale is wrong. Much larger than any vessel we have encountered. Multiple contacts. They are moving very fast. Thexvar felt a cold sensation in his chest. How many contacts? 13, Admiral. 13 very large contacts, approaching from the outer system. Display them on screen. The main viewing screen changed to show sensor data from the system's edge. 13 massive objects were racing toward Earth at incredible speed. They were still too far away for visual confirmation, but the computer was calculating their size based on gravitational displacement. Each contact is approximately 3 times the size of the Dominion Ascendant, the sensor officer said quietly. Impossible, Thexvar thought. The humans had 30 small patrol ships. Intelligence had confirmed it. There was no way they could have hidden 13 massive warships. Get me visual confirmation, Thexvar ordered. They are too far away, Admiral. We will have visual contact in approximately 8 minutes at their current velocity. How fast are they moving? 0.8 to 7 light speed and decelerating. Admiral, nothing moves that fast. Not even our fastest ships achieve more than 0.6 light speed. Nothing moves that are gassed. Thexvar stood up from his command throne, the Black Fleet. The intelligence reports about human transmissions mentioning the Black Fleet. He had dismissed it as propaganda. Thanks for watching. And the propaganda. All ships, defensive formation. Thexvar ordered. Prepare for combat. The Corvathian fleet scrambled to reorganize. They had been positioned for planetary bombardment, spread out across Earth's orbit. Now they pulled together, forming a protective sphere with the Dominion Ascendant at its center. Admiral, we are receiving a transmission, the communications officer said. Source is from the approaching contacts. Audio only. Play it. A woman's voice filled the bridge. She spoke in clear, unaccented Galactic Standard. This is Captain Ji-1 Kim of the United Humanity Space Navy vessel, Eternal Vigil, flagship of the Black Fleet. You have threatened humanity's homeworld. You have demanded our surrender. You have attacked our people. You have one opportunity to withdraw. Leave this system immediately, or we will destroy you. Thexvar laughed. It was a harsh, bitter sound. Respond. Tell her that the Corvathian Empire does not flee from threats. Tell her that we have 200 warships, and we will crush her precious Black Fleet. The communication was sent. The response came back immediately, still in that calm, steady voice. We warned you. We. On the viewing screen, the 13 massive shapes of the Black Fleet began to resolve from sensor ghosts into actual ships. They were enormous. Dark vessels that seemed to absorb light. They moved with perfect precision, maintaining formation as they decelerated from impossible speeds. Thexvar's tactical officer was running calculations. Admiral, if their ships are that size and moving that fast, they will arrive in Earth orbit in 6 minutes. Their momentum alone would destroy any ship that tries to intercept them. Then we do not intercept, Thexvar said. We let them come to us. Concentrate all firepower on the leading ship. The moment they enter weapons range, we destroy it. Show these humans that size means nothing against superior numbers. The Corvathian fleet waited. 200 warships with weapons charged and shields at maximum power. The Black Fleet came roaring out of the darkness. 6 minutes later, they arrived in Earth orbit. And Admiral Thexvar finally understood that he had made a terrible, terrible mistake. The Black Fleet did not arrive where Admiral Thexvar expected. Instead of approaching the Corvathian blockade formation directly, the 13 human warships emerged from quantum acceleration in perfect positions around the entire fleet. They materialized simultaneously, their quantum drives creating brief tears in space that looked like ripples of darkness against the stars. One moment, the Corvathians held Earth surrounded. The next moment, they were the ones trapped. On the bridge of the Eternal Vigil, Captain Ji-1 Kim watched her tactical display with satisfaction. 50 years of drilling had led to this moment. The Black Fleet had executed a perfect encirclement maneuver, arriving at 13 precisely calculated points that covered every possible Corvathian escape vector. All ships report ready status, Commander Seok-Jin Park announced. Weapons charged, shields at maximum. We have firing solutions on all enemy vessels. Good, Ji-1 said. She touched her communication panel. Admiral Thexvar, this is your final warning. Order your ships to power down weapons and prepare to surrender. You have 60 seconds to comply. On the Dominion Ascendant, Thexvar stared at the tactical display in shock. The 13 human ships surrounded his entire fleet. Each human vessel was massive, 3 times the size of his flagship. Their hulls were so dark they seemed to eat light, making them look like holes in space. But Thexvar was still an admiral of the Corvathian Empire. He had conquered 43 worlds. He commanded 200 warships. He would not be intimidated by 13 ships, no matter how large. All vessels, open fire. Thexvar roared. Concentrate fire on the nearest human ship. Destroy it. 50 Corvathian warships turned their weapons on the UHSN Silent Thunder, the closest Black Fleet vessel. Particle beams and plasma cannons fired. Missiles launched. The firepower was enough to vaporize a small moon. The weapons struck the Silent Thunder's shields and stopped. Captain Hansol Choi stood on the bridge of the Silent Thunder and barely felt the impacts. His ship's quantum shields absorbed the incoming fire, dissipating the energy harmlessly into dimensional folds. The shields had been designed specifically to counter conventional weapons. After 50 years of research and development, humanity had created defensive technology that made their Black Fleet ships nearly invulnerable to standard military firepower. Their weapons are ineffective, Hansol's tactical officer reported. Shield integrity at 98%. Return fire, Hansol ordered calmly. Demonstrate our capabilities. The Silent Thunder fired a single relativistic railgun. The weapon accelerated a dense tungsten slug to 95% of light speed. The projectile covered the distance to its target Corvathian destroyer in less than a second. The Corvathian ship's shields activated automatically, designed to stop energy weapons and conventional missiles. They were excellent shields, among the best in the galaxy. They were completely useless against a solid object moving at near light speed. The tungsten slug punched through the shields like they did not exist. It penetrated the destroyer's hull, passed through the entire ship, and exited the other side. The kinetic energy transfer was catastrophic. The Corvathian destroyer simply came apart, torn into pieces by forces. Its structure was never designed to withstand. Silence filled the communication channels of the Corvathian fleet. All Black Fleet vessels. Jiwon's voice came over the secure channel. You are authorized to engage. Disable enemy vessels. Minimize casualties where possible, but protect yourselves first. Show them what we are. The battle began. It was not really a battle. It was a demonstration of technological superiority so complete that it resembled an educational exercise more than actual combat. The Black Fleet ships moved through the Corvathian formation with practiced precision. They had drilled these maneuvers for 50 years. Every captain knew exactly where every other ship would be. They worked together like the fingers of a single hand. The Corvathians fired everything they had. Hundreds of weapons discharged simultaneously. The space around Earth lit up with particle beams, plasma bolts, and missile contrails. It was the concentrated firepower of an Imperial fleet, enough destructive power to level continents. The Black Fleet's quantum shields held. Every shot was absorbed or deflected. The human ships continued their approach, without slowing. Then, the Black Fleet returned fire. The UHSN Eternal Vigil fired its main railgun battery. 4 tungsten slugs launched simultaneously, each targeting a different Corvathian cruiser. 4 ships exploded within seconds of each other. The UHSN Dark Sentinel used its point defense lasers, designed to stop incoming missiles. Against Corvathian hulls, the lasers cut through armor, like a blade through paper. The Dark Sentinel traced precise lines across 3 Corvathian ships, surgically disabling their engines without destroying them completely. The UHSN Voidwalker launched a spread of smart missiles. These were not like Corvathian missiles. They were equipped with micro-quantum drives that let them change direction instantaneously. They weaved through defensive fire, impossible to intercept, and struck their targets with perfect accuracy. In 5 minutes, 30 Corvathian ships were destroyed. Another 40 were disabled, drifting in space with their engines offline and life support failing. Admiral Thexvar watched his fleet die around him. His tactical display showed ships disappearing one by one, faster than his officers could track them. The humans were not fighting with desperation or luck. They were executing a planned assault with mechanical precision. Shields failing on decks 7 through 12. His damage control officer shouted. "We have been hit." The Dominion Ascendant shuddered. One of the human ships had fired on them. Thexvar looked at his shield status. His flagship had the best shields in the Corvathian fleet, powerful enough to withstand sustained bombardment from an entire battle group. One human shot had penetrated them and damaged his ship. "All ships, retreat," Thexvar ordered. "Break formation and scatter. Jump to emergency coordinates." The Corvathian fleet attempted to flee. Ships activated their faster-than-light drives, trying to escape into jump space. The Black Fleet had anticipated this. They had positioned themselves specifically to control all escape vectors. As each Corvathian ship tried to jump, a Black Fleet vessel was already there, blocking the route. Human railguns fired with calculated precision, not to destroy but to disable. They targeted engines. They targeted jump drives. They left the Corvathian ships alive but helpless, drifting in space. 10 minutes after the battle began, half the Corvathian fleet was gone, destroyed or disabled. The survivors huddled together near their flagship, their weapons still firing uselessly against the human shields. G1 opened a communication channel to all Corvathian ships. "Admiral Thexvar, you have lost. Order your remaining ships to power down immediately, or we will destroy every single one of them. You have 30 seconds. On the Dominion Ascendant, Thexvar looked around his bridge. Half his crew was dead or injured. His ship was damaged. His fleet was shattered. He had started the day commanding 200 warships and feeling invincible. Now he commanded less than 100, and even those were helpless against these human ships. He had conquered 43 worlds. He had never lost a battle. He had believed the Corvathian Empire was supreme in this sector of the galaxy. He had been wrong. "Power down weapons," Thexvar said quietly. "Lower shields. Transmit surrender signal." His officers stared at him in shock. "Do it," Thexvar roared. "We have lost. They will kill us all if we continue." The Dominion Ascendant powered down its weapons. One by one, the remaining Corvathian ships did the same. G1 watched her tactical display as the enemy vessels surrendered. She felt no satisfaction. She felt no joy. She felt only tired. After 50 years of waiting, after 5,000 people giving up their lives to train in the darkness, they had finally been needed, and they had won. "All Black Fleet vessels, cease fire," G1 ordered. "Maintain position. Keep weapons charged, but do not fire unless threatened." She opened a channel to the Corvathian flagship. "Admiral Thexvar, your surrender is accepted. Prepare to receive our terms." Across Earth, people watched the battle on their screens. They saw the Black Fleet appear from nowhere. They saw the ships they had not known existed. The sailors who had been protecting them for 50 years from the darkness beyond Neptune, and they understood that Earth had never been defenseless. Humanity had simply been waiting for the right moment to show its strength. Admiral Thexvar stood on the bridge of his damaged flagship and waited. Around him, the survivors of his crew worked to repair systems and tend to the wounded. Through the viewing screen, he could see the 13 massive human warships holding position around his fleet. The Black Fleet. Ships that should not exist. Ships that had destroyed half his force in 15 minutes. A communication request came from the human flagship. "Accept it," Thexvar said. Captain G1 Kim appeared on his screen. She was older than Thexvar had expected. Her hair gray, her face lined with years. But her eyes were sharp and clear. This was a warrior who had earned her rank through actual service, not political connections. "Admiral Thexvar," G1 said, "we will accept your surrender under the following conditions. Thexvar waited. He expected demands for tribute, for hostages, for technological secrets. This was what conquerors did. This was the pattern of warfare throughout the galaxy. Your surviving ships will be permitted to leave this system immediately, G1 continued. We will provide basic supplies for your journey home. We will allow you to recover your damaged vessels and retrieve escape pods from destroyed ships. We will not take prisoners. We will not demand tribute. We will not pursue you. 2. Thexvar stared at her in confusion. You are letting us go? Yes. On one condition. You will carry a message to your empire. You will tell them what happened here. You will explain that Earth is protected by the Black Fleet. You will make it clear that any future aggression against humanity will be met with total force. Why? Thexvar asked. You have won. You could destroy us completely. You could take everything we have. Why show mercy? G1 was quiet for a moment. Because we are not like you, Admiral. We did not build the Black Fleet for conquest. We built it for survival. We spent 50 years in the darkness not because we wanted war, but because we feared it. We hoped we would never be needed. But when you threatened our homeworld, you left us no choice. You destroy half my fleet and call it mercy? Thexvar said bitterly. We disabled more ships than we destroyed. G1 replied. We could have killed everyone. We chose not to. That is mercy, Admiral. Remember it when you deliver our message to your empire. The communication ended. Thexvar looked around his bridge. His surviving officers were listening. They had heard everything. The human captain's words would spread through the fleet. The story of this defeat would reach every corner of the Corvathian Empire. Prepare the fleet for departure. Thexvar ordered quietly. Collect our dead. Repair what we can. We are going home. On Earth, Ambassador Minjun Park stood in the underground command center and watched the Corvathian fleet begin its retreat. The surviving enemy ships moved slowly, gathering their damaged vessels and escape pods. The Black Fleet held position. Weapons ready, but not firing. General Sarah Chen stood beside him. They are actually leaving. I thought we might have to fight them again. 2. Captain Kim gave them no reason to fight, Minjun said. She demonstrated overwhelming superiority, but offered honorable terms. The Corvathians lost their fleet, but not their dignity. That was wise. 70. Should we pursue them? General Chen asked. Make sure they do not return? No, Minjun said firmly. Captain Kim was correct. We are not conquerors. The Black Fleet exists to protect Earth, not to wage offensive war. Let them go. Let them carry our message to the galaxy. Lieutenant Jae Sung Moon approached them. The young officer looked shaken but relieved. Sirs, we are receiving communication requests from 17 different species. They all detected the battle. They want to know about the Black Fleet. They want to know if the transmissions they intercepted were real. They were real, Minjun said. Prepare a statement. I will address the galactic community. An hour later, Minjun Park appeared on every major communication channel in the sector. His message was broadcast to hundreds of worlds, translated into dozens of languages. I am Ambassador Minjun Park, representing Earth's unified government. Today, the Corvathian Empire demanded our surrender. We refused. They attacked us. We defended ourselves. Many of you detected the battle. Many of you have questions about the Black Fleet. I will answer those questions now. Minjun paused, letting his words be translated and distributed. 50 years ago, Earth faced an existential threat. We survived, but we learned a terrible lesson. We learned that the galaxy is dangerous. We learned that we needed to be prepared for threats we could not predict, so we built the Black Fleet. 13 warships, crewed by volunteers, equipped with our most advanced technology. For 50 years, these ships waited in the outer darkness of our solar system, training, drilling, hoping they would never be needed. Today, they were needed. The Black Fleet is not a tool of conquest. It is not a weapon of aggression. It exists only to protect Earth and humanity. We will never strike first, but we will always be ready to strike last. Any species that threatens our homeworld will face the same response the Corvathians face today. However, we do not seek conflict. We welcome diplomatic relations. We welcome trade and cultural exchange. We welcome cooperation with peaceful species. The Black Fleet is our shield, not our sword. We hope never to use it again. Earth remains independent. We will not be conquered. We will not surrender. But we will also not conquer others. This is our promise to the galaxy. Judge us by our actions, not our weapons. The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, species that had never heard of humanity now knew Earth's name. Some were frightened. Some were curious. Some began making plans to establish peaceful contact. And some, like the Corvathians, learned to give humanity a wide berth. On the bridge of the Eternal Vigil, Captain Ji-won Kim watched the Corvathian fleet disappear into faster-than-light jumps. The last enemy ship vanished from sensors. The battle was over. All Black Fleet vessels, this is Eternal Vigil, Ji-won said. The threat is neutralized. Well done. You have all performed with honor. Earth is safe. 13 captains responded with acknowledgement signals. They had trained together for 50 years. They had fought together for 15 minutes. They had proven that their sacrifice and their patience had not been wasted. Captain, Commander Seokjin Park said quietly, "Are we returning to Earth? Will we finally go home?" Ji-won looked at the blue planet on her viewing screen. It was beautiful. It was everything they had protected for 5 decades. But it was not really their home anymore. Their home was here, in the darkness, aboard these ships. "No," Ji-won said. "Our mission is not complete. The Black Fleet was created to be Earth's final defense. As long as the galaxy remains dangerous, we remain on watch. We return to our patrol routes. We continue drilling. We continue waiting." Seokjin nodded slowly. He understood. They all understood. "All ships," Ji-won ordered, "set course for Neptune. We are going back to the outer dark." The Black Fleet turned away from Earth and began accelerating back toward the edge of the solar system. Behind them, Earth celebrated its victory. News services broadcast images of the battle. Civilians cheered in the streets. Politicians made speeches about human strength and courage. But on the 13 ships of the Black Fleet, there were no celebrations. The crews simply returned to their duties. They maintained their ships. They continued their drills. They prepared for the next threat, whether it came in a year or another 50 years. Ji-won sat in her captain's chair and began writing her official report. Her hands moved across the keypad with practiced efficiency. Activation. 1 complete. Hostile force neutralized. Enemy fleet withdrawn. No human casualties. Earth remains secure. Deterrence maintained. Black Fleet returning to patrol status. She paused, thinking about what to write next. 50 years of waiting. 15 minutes of combat. And now, back to waiting again. Back to the darkness beyond Neptune. Back to watching. Back to being ready. "The galaxy now knows we exist," Ji-won typed. "They know what we can do. They know we will protect our homeworld at any cost. This is good. Fear is a better deterrent than secrecy. But we must remain vigilant. Today's threat came from the Corvathian Empire. Tomorrow's threat may come from somewhere else. The Black Fleet cannot rest. We cannot assume safety. We must always be ready. For 50 years, we have been Earth's hidden shield. Now we are Earth's known shield. The mission continues. We remain on watch. We remain ready. We remain in the darkness, so Earth can remain in the light." Ji-won finished her report and sent it to Earth Command. Then she stood up and walked to the observation deck. Through the viewing port, She could see Earth shrinking behind them as they accelerated away. The planet was just a blue dot now, small and precious and vulnerable, but not defenseless. Never defenseless. The Black Fleet had returned to the darkness. And there they would stay, waiting, watching, ready to roar back into the light the moment humanity needed them again. Behind Captain G1 Kim, the stars stretched out forever. Ahead of her lay the cold outer reaches of the solar system and another rotation of patrols, drills, and waiting. She had given 50 years to this mission. She would give the rest of her life, if necessary. Because that was what the Black Fleet did. That was what they were. They were humanity's final answer. Earth's last word. The deterrent that meant no enemy would ever succeed in threatening humanity's home. And across the galaxy, species that had never respected humanity before now spoke Earth's name with careful consideration. Some with fear, some with respect, but all of them remembering the day when the Corvathian Empire demanded Earth's surrender, and humanity's Black Fleet roared in from the darkness to deliver a simple message: no.